Hi students, today's class is about phrase and class. To know about phrase and class, we have to know about sentence too. We already know about sentence and now again we are going to recollect it. Sentence. What is sentence? A group of words which give you a complete meaning is called as sentence. In a sentence there will be a subject, verb, adjective, adverb and etc. And we all know there are 4 types of sentence. There are statement, interrogative, exclamatory and imperative. In a sentence there will be a main class and subordinate class. And phrase. We are going to learn what is class and what is phrase. See, here is an example. I have a pen with a cap. By this example, we can learn what is class and what is phrase. See, I have a pen is a class. It have a separate subject, predicate, verb, everything. And without the word with a cap, it have its own meaning. This is what a class. But phrase is also a group of words, but it doesn't have a complete meaning with a cap. Does it mean? No. So when the phrase added to the class, it will have a new meaning. It will have a complete meaning. That is the difference between the class and the phrase. We can see in detail what is class and what is phrase. Class. A class is a group of words in a sentence which contain a subject and a verb. As we already seen in the previous example, I have a pen. So as like that, here is also an example. The boy is playing. Here the boy is a subject and is playing is a predicate which have a verb. The boy is playing is a complete sentence that have a complete meaning. It is called as a class. In the above simple sentence, boy is a subject, playing is a verb. So the part boy is playing is a class because it has both subject and verb, right? Okay. Then class might also contain an object along with a subject which make it stand alone as a complete sentence. With this, the object might also be added. One of the easiest way to discuss between the class and phrase is that a class is a set of words that make complete sense and does not require any additional helping word to complete it. As I already said, a class can stand alone and give a complete meaning. It never need a additional helping verb. Okay. And another example, Sarah smiled. It's just a 2-word example, but there was a subject and there was a verb. So it was a complete class, right? Phrase. What is phrase? Phrase is also a group of words in a sentence, but it cannot give a complete meaning because it doesn't have a separate subject and a verb. In other words, in a sentence, one part with a subject and the verb is a class, while the rest is it without those 2 parts of speech is called as a phrase. Okay, what is class? We already know the sentence with the subject and the verb with a complete meaning. And in a sentence there will be the other additional words, right? That will be the phrase. Okay. Here is an example. On the wall, in the water, over the horizon. So these were the phrases. On the wall. It was a group of words. It has meaning, but it doesn't have a complete meaning. If I am coming into the class and saying on the wall, can you understand anything? Nothing, right? So this was a difference. In the water, over the horizon, everything. All the above examples are part of a different sentence which are void of a subject. And verbs, they are classified as a phrases. So it will also a group of words but it never had a complete sentence. So see the another example. He is playing in the field. It is a sentence, complete sentence with a complete meaning, but here there is a class and the phrase. He is playing is a class and in the field is the phrase. I hope you can understand what is class and what is phrase. Maximum time, the phrase and the class will look as same, but there are some difference. Using the difference, we can classify them. Okay. Phrase does not make a complete sense, which means it doesn't have a complete meaning. Class make a complete sense, which means it have a complete meaning. And in phrase there is no subject or predicate, but in class there will be a subject and a predicate. In a phrase, the phrase cannot stand alone. I already said you, right? As like that, a phrase cannot stand alone. See the example, in a park. Does it mean? No. When it added to a class or in a sentence, it will have a complete meaning. The boy is standing in a park. Right? There in the park is a phrase which have a meaning. From the class the boy is standing. Okay. In class, a class can stand alone. The boy is standing. It is a complete sentence. Have a complete meaning. Right? This was the difference between the phrase and the class. Let me picturize the differences. Okay, the group of words with complete meaning. See, in the class side there are group of words: always and forever, work hard together, be proud of yourself. These were the sentence with a meaning. And see this side, in a phrase side, group of words without complete meaning. There are some group of words, but that doesn't have any meaning. And another difference is the subject and the predicate. In class there will be a subject and there will be a predicate, but in phrase there is no subject or no predicate, which means there is no subject or a verb. Right? And another difference, we already learned, a class can stand alone, but the phrase can't stand alone. It needs the support of a class, right? We have learned about class and phrase. So there are two types in class. They were main class and subordinate class. As we already seen in the definition of sentence, we already learned these two words, main class and subordinate class. What is main class and what is subordinate class? In a sentence, there will be a main class and a subordinate class, right? A main class contains subject and an object. They can also make a sense on their own. They have a full complete meaning and they have a subject and the object. Okay. In subordinate class, It contains a subject, verb. However, like main class, as like a main class, the subordinate class will also have a subject and verb. But subordinate class do not have a complete sense, right? We already know the class must have a subject and the verb. So both the main class and the subordinate class will have a subject and the verb, but the main class will have a complete sense, which means a complete meaning, and the subordinate class doesn't have it, right? Now we will have a doubt that between the subordinate class and the phrase, right? What is the difference was the phrase will not have a subject and the verb, but the subordinate class will have a subject and the verb, but they both doesn't have a complete meaning. For subordinate class it need a conjunction, right? With a conjunction and with the help of a main class it will have a complete meaning. That is what given here. Although I scared, I carefully crossed the bridge. The sentence which have a complete meaning is a main class. In a sentence, the part which have a complete meaning is called a main class. I carefully crossed the bridge. It have a complete meaning, right? So when although I was scared was added to it, if it is there or not, the main class will have a complete sentence. But when the subordinate class added to the main class only, it can have a complete meaning. Although I was scared, although is a conjunction, I was scared is a class. Again a class. I was scared. I is a subject and was scared is a verb and a predicate, right? So the complete class which have a complete meaning is called as a main class, and the complete class which doesn't have a complete meaning is called as the subordinate class. This is what the difference between the main class and the subordinate class. Main class is also called as an independent class. We already said it doesn't need any support. It will have a complete subject and a complete verb. They both will give you a complete meaning, right? The subject is involved in the action, the verb is the action. We already know what is subject and what is verb. That is what given here. And subordinate class is also called as a dependent class, because as we already learned, subordinate class needs the help of a main class as like the phrase, but the subordinate class will have a separate subject and the verb predicate, right? A subordinate class does not express a complete thought. It does have a subject and a verb, but it cannot stand alone as a sentence. Then what is dependent class? Dependent class is not a complete sentence. It is a class, it will have a subject and a verb, but it doesn't have a complete meaning. It will be dependent on another main class, right? A dependent class is not a complete sentence and does not express a complete thought. It is also known as a subordinate class. Subordinate class is also known as a dependent class, and dependent class is also known as a subordinate class. Sub means below, ordinate means rank. So below rank, subject to, dependent on. These were the meanings for the subordinate. It can't